Hey guys, fourth character but only first video this league. But this character I like quite a lot and I think it's worth talking about. I'm gonna try to keep this short and leave path of building import code in the description, but this is another Chains of Command build and the title is not really a clickbait, but it is for Chains of Command. Now, I somehow didn't really notice that there is a Replica's Maata's teaching which essentially overrides your minions base attack time with your main hand's weapon attack time. This is like very cheap to start. I can't think of anything expensive that you need for this build other than basic Marohi, Maata's teaching. I think I bought for less than 10 hears. Bright Big is like less than 1 hears if you go for non-corrupted. And Chains of Command in general is just so flexible and you can do so many different builds with it. It's probably one of my favorite minion skills, or not skills, but playstyles in general, because you can just do so many different builds and all you have is Animate Guardian and animated weapons from the Animate Guardian. You don't need to worry about specters because you literally cannot have them. You don't need to worry about golems, nothing else. But this build has so much DPS that this time I had no damage auras and you only need like 3 minion jewels with I guess chance to poison is needed to reach 100%, and you don't need flare damage because it's getting so much flare damage from the Marohi, which essentially becomes like over 2.5 thousand DPS weapon for them. In fact, getting flare damage is very inefficient at this point. So all you need is increased minion damage and minion attack and cast speed. I went a bit more, I guess, quality of life build rather than just full DPS this time. Try to invest into defenses because you're going with dual wield, so you don't have a shield, you don't have recover life on block as per usual. So there aren't that many options to increase the defenses. You can still go block with the bone offering, but the thing is, I have offering on Arcanist brand, and enemies usually get cleared out so quickly that Arcanist brand doesn't even have a chance to trigger offering. So I wouldn't want to rely on bone offering to begin with. By the way, this is Necromancer and I'm not going with the offering node, but I am using flash offering just to give them extra speed. And I think movement speed is a high priority for this build. There is, by the way, a much better build for clear speed. If you want to take a look at my old build, I was doing with the Cane of Kulamak, which had exploded mod, which was amazing. One of my favorite playstyles like overall. Now I think this Replica's Maata's teaching works the best with there are a couple of ideas that I want to talk about. I think this works best with minions that don't normally scale with minion levels, because minion levels do matter a lot. This doesn't get any minion levels because you always trigger level 20 or level 18 Animate Guardian weapons. So using these weapons you don't lose as much. You could still craft a rare weapon like a claw or a rapier that has minion damage, for example, and maybe trigger craft to automatically trigger desecrate and offering, but I didn't really feel like I need to because the damage was sufficient. It's over about 13 million DPS. This is level 90 and I'm still missing 1 jewel, so I could just get this jewel, or you could activate some damage auras instead and get more damage, but I really needed defenses. Now, to mention some other ideas for Replica's Maata's teaching, Reapers are very slow. They have very slow base attack speed. So using this for Reapers could also be interesting. I tried briefly for while leveling, and they attack so quickly. It's like lawnmower just mowing everything down, but they don't really do that much damage. Another thing, maybe golems could be used, but again, golems do benefit from blast levels quite a bit. Maybe Aracalis, spiders, but we have pretty good base attack speed, so it's probably not really worth using for minions that have decent base attack speed. Now, another interesting thing that I am kind of curious, and it's kind of expensive to test because it requires those new unique rings that add extra supports. I'm talking about, you know, that big sentinel that Guardian has from the passive skill tree. Now, that sentinel hits pretty hard, but it doesn't have any supports and it's very slow attack speed. But with this you can override its attack, but I still think it has like an inbuilt modifier for lower attack speed. So even if you override its attack speed, it still feels like it has slower attack speed than 2 hits per second. But it could be interesting if you could use Guardian Sentinel with this combo, and then use those new unique rings that can add even +2 extra supports to passive 3 skills, because Sentinel's Guardian is from the passive skill tree. So you could use those rings to add even actually 6 supports, because you can get a fed ring, but that's very expensive. I'm not even sure if you could find those kind of rings on the market. You would like want, I don't know, minion damage, maybe minion speed, faster attacks, like melee physical damage, stuff like that, multi-strike. So that's just one quick idea, very expensive idea. Now, for the defenses, I went with the Defiance of Destiny, stacking some armor. I got like 15k armor. I do generate 4 endurance charges once I get a hit because of the enduring composure. Actually, it would be 5 if I level up more. The bad part is that you only start generating them after you get a hit. You are essentially weakest against the first hit. Endurance charges also mitigate elemental damage, not just elemental resistances like they used to. For some reason I forgot, but endurance charges also mitigate elemental damage taken. Endurance charges are very good. As for Animate Guardian items, Marohi was very cheap to buy, pretty much perfectly rolled Marohi. I think I paid less than 1 divine. Grackle's belt is just for survivability. Leercast, turns out Leercast is equivalent to helmet like this. Nearby enemies have minus CS resistance. It's pretty much exactly the same DPS, so may as well give it to Animate Guardian and you yourself get a helmet like that. The boots you could get something different, just use them at the beginning and never replaced. The gloves Grapevine because you want this to summon level 20 animate weapons instead of level 18. And yeah, I guess the rest you can check in PUB. By the way, leap slamming is very quick once you take this and you get some minion attack speed. Leap slamming is very quick. I prefer this over shield charge. Maybe I'll quickly mention what our builds I was doing, but not really go into details. This character, I reached maps and I haven't done a single map. I was doing mana infused staff. There was a bug in PUB which made it have a lot more damage, and I was like, whoa, that's so much damage. And then one morning I wake up, I turn on PUB and I went from 7 million average hit damage to 2 million, and I just quit the build. So that's the story of this character. My starter was SRS. At first I was doing like normal SRS, but I wasn't really feeling it. Then I switched to minion instability with the Summon Raging Spirit of Enormity, and that was more fun, but wasn't really feeling this either. So this is a build that I was maybe thinking of doing a video about, but it's interesting, but I didn't really enjoy some of the mechanics. So this build was built around the spine snatch and socketing jewels. It does take a bit of effort crafting these jewels unless you got currency and just buy them. The main focus of this build is not necessarily just this weapon alone, but in combination with the light poacher. Actually I'm missing the ring to show you, but the light poacher gives you a lot of physical as extra damage per spirit charge. Generate spirit charges on kill. That's why I was using the worm ring to continuously generating spirit charges to maximum, at least against single target. And when you perform an attack normally, it would trigger a spirit burst, but you can block this by increasing its mana cost to be higher than what the amount of mana that you have. And also when you attack, it first drains your mana and then checks the mana remaining mana for a spirit burst to trigger. And if you don't have enough mana, then spirit burst does not trigger. And if it does not trigger, you do not lose spirit charges, and you maintain full physical as extra damage, like a full magnitude of that. In order to give it mana cost, using Frost Mage, it gives mana cost based on reserved mana. So the more maximum mana you have and the more you reserve, the higher the mana cost goes up. And then using GMP and either returning projectiles or volley, greater volley. Basically, didn't like this because of the mana management issues. It was pretty annoying, but I was also using Crystal Fall. I found this combo to be pretty satisfying. This build was supposed to be like double procking Void Shockwave and procking Crystal Fall, which is a new thing, which is like a crystal falls down from the sky, but it's very delayed. But actually it kind of works well with F Shatter of Prominence. It creates one spike, so it has to be a slam. So it hits the enemies, but it doesn't reach very far. It hits the enemy, it procs the Crystal Fall, the Crystal Fall lands on that spike and it explodes the spike as well. So this is a pretty cool combo, but it was very short reach, and it's dangerous. Why did that reach so much further? Huh. So I was also switching to Sunder for clearing. It was okay build. I just didn't really enjoy. I did not like the mana issues at all, because you also need to lower the mana cost. You don't want to lower it too much, but you also want some other skills. So overall, it was kind of okay-ish. I will probably leave the path of building import code in with the description for this. Maybe you want to take a look at that and have some ideas. You can actually have even more beast sockets. The Shroud of Lightless body armor, the replica can have 6 sockets, but then you need to figure out where are you going to be getting your sixling. So you will need to craft the sixling gloves, maybe use the new unique ring that adds extra support to gloves or maybe to boots. So yeah, that's pretty much all about the builds that I was doing. I'm looking for ideas for the next build. I think that I would want to still finish this and do something with it, the Hierophant or maybe Inquisitor, because going through campaign is still taking like 6 hours almost. I'm not actually sure if I will do more videos this league. I'm not really feeling this league. It's kind of and not really enjoying it too much, and I really want to get back to Unreal Engine 5 and focus on making a game myself, because the progress is very slow while I'm streaming. By the way, I am streaming every day. I'm not making videos and not active on YouTube, but I am streaming every day on Twitch. I guess I never really promote that, but if you are at work and you need some kind of background noise, tune in to my stream, listening to some chill music. Many people use that for background noise while working. So yeah, I'm streaming every day on Twitch, but I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna be streaming, because I want to get back to Unreal Engine 5. Maybe I will stream that at some point when I get more accustomed to working with it. But yeah, for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.